All right, I think we can get started. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the AI App Development Bootcamp. I'm thrilled to have you all here today. My name is Pranjal, and I'll be your guide through this exciting journey into the world of AI app development. And today's session is titled "Build Production-Ready AI Apps in 2025," and that's exactly what we're going to do. This is a free webinar to you, brought to you by GrowthPro AI, and is a prologue to the AI app development course that is to start on 30th of September, the boot camp that is to start on 30th of September. So in this session, we'll have a live demo. We'll understand the challenges faced by developers uh, and learn a structured path to master the AI app development skills, right? So before diving in, I just let you know that this is not going to be a theoretical session. We'll have hands-on coding where we will go through an actual use case, and we'll see how an actual AI app works, right? So I'll share my screen with a presentation. I hope my screen is visible to you guys now. So as I said, my name is Pranjal. I've been in the tech and product space for over 15 years now. I'm a serial entrepreneur at heart. I co-founded a food tech startup in Bangalore. And I've also worked with top Indian startups like Lead Squared and Stanza Living, where I built products used by thousands of users. And I'm passionate about teaching practical AI development. So over the past few years, around 3 or more years, I've been involved in building a couple of few AI products, including an AI framework that automatically tagged over 2 lakh companies for a financial data platform. And I also created a legal assistant for a Web3 startup to help them navigate complex regulations. Through these projects, I realized that there's a massive gap in the market. Everyone is excited about AI. Everyone wants to talk about it, but very few people know how to actually use it to build working applications. And that's why I created this course, and why I'm here with you guys today. So now, just a warm up poll, just to the kind of an icebreaker for you guys. So the question here is, how much experience do you have with ChatGPT? I'll have the poll here, and the 3 choices are yes, you are experienced; no, you're not much experienced, and you have tried but got stuck. So I hope you guys can see the poll now. So if you could just take a minute and answer this question. All right, I'm getting the answers now. I've got 1 vote. Okay, I've got another vote. Okay, that's nice. I've got a few votes now. This is excellent. All right, few more votes. Come on, guys. So I can see we have a good mix here, right? This is fantastic. So some of you guys haven't tried it yet. Some of you guys have in fact tried it, and a few of you guys have tried but got stuck, right? And this the last group is exactly who this webinar is for, because if you get stuck, it means you give it a try, and so we can go to the next level, right? So now, going back to the slides, why AI app development matters in 2025. If we talk a bit about that, so if you look at the chart, we can see that there's a very obvious increase in demand in AI app development for AI app developers, right? So if you talk about the job market, companies aren't just talking about AI anymore. They're actively hiring AI developers who can build AI powered applications, right? And we're not talking about AI researchers or PhD level machine learning engineers, right? We're talking about practical developers who can take existing models and turn them into working applications, right? So I've seen job postings where companies are offering significant salary premiums for developers who have proven AI implementation experience. And why this is happening is because there's a massive shortage of people who can actually build these real world applications, right? Secondly, if you look at the startup ecosystem, startups are raising millions of dollars just by having a solid AI product idea and the ability to execute it. So the insight is, it's not about having the most sophisticated AI model, but it's about being able to integrate capabilities into real world applications and solving real world problems, right? And that's where the value is created. Third point is that the future developer is not someone who can just write code, but is someone who understands how to harness these AI models as building blocks for larger applications. Think of AI APIs like OpenAI, Claude, or Google's AI services as your new programming libraries, right? Just like you learned databases, web frameworks, and cloud services, AI integration is also becoming a fundamental skill, right? And the companies that are winning in 2025 are those that can move fast, integrate AI capabilities quickly, and deliver value to users. And they need developers who can bridge the gap between AI possibilities and practical implementation, right? So the beautiful part is that, as I mentioned, we don't need PhD in machine learning to do this. We don't need to understand the mathematics and the neural networks behind these, how these models are working. But we need to understand the APIs. We need to understand data flows, and we need to understand system architecture and of course user experience, right? And these are the skills that many of you already have, or if you don't, you can quickly develop, right? So building AI apps is definitely going to give you a massive competitive edge, and you can position yourself at the intersection of major trends, continued growth of software applications, and democratization of AI capabilities, right? So now, talking about what most developers struggle with, it's basically the reality is that most developers can play around with ChatGPT. They can make API calls, but they can get responses, but when it comes to turning that into a usable application for production, things start falling apart. And I'll be very honest, from my experience, I've seen that I've mentored dozens of developers, and these are the few challenges that I've seen. Is first one is reliability. So when we are using when we are just experimenting with chat gpt, it gives a slightly different response each time, right? But in a production environment, in production application, users expect consistency, right? So that's the biggest problem that I've seen. Second is cost optimization. These API calls add up very fast. So when we are just testing them out, it's fine. But when we are prototyping and making 50 API calls, then it's fine. But when we have thousands of users, and when we are making like 50,000 calls a day at maybe $0.002 per call, so that will be 100 per day, or maybe $3,000 a month, right? So suddenly your cool AI feature will be eating up your entire budget, right? So that's where we need to understand how to optimize prompts, use caching strategies, and when to use different models. We need to understand how all these models are working, which is the perfect model for our use case, and how to batch requests. So these are the things that we need to understand, right? Third point is scaling. So the prototype might work great with test data, but what happens when we have thousands of concurrent users, right? When we talk about uh, so it's the same as when our database grows from 100 records to 100,000 records, right? So that kind of a problem I've seen myself in AI applications that work perfectly in development environment, but they break down in the when the real world load comes in, right? So AI responses can also become slow, and system can start timing out, and user experience becomes terrible. So all these scaling issues keep on happening, right? And the fourth problem, the big one, is deployment, getting your AI application from your local machine to a production environment. where real users can access it reliably, is a big challenge. So this involves understanding cloud services, environment management, API security, monitoring, error handling, and all of that, right? So these are some of the problems that I've seen developers facing, where they are able to beautifully demo an application on their local environment, but when comes to deploying it on a production environment, they face these challenges, and that's what we need to solve for, right? So just taking a pause here and seeing if any one of you has any questions till now. Right. So moving on from now. So now it's time for a real demo. So in the next 15 or so minutes, we will be building an actual AI powered email workflow. Right. So the workflow works like this. So imagine, let's say you want to send out an email. So first step is to generate an email using OpenAI's APIs. And the second step is to use an SMTP, or a simple mail transfer protocol service, or the Gmail API, to send out the email to a particular person, right? So now let's get to some coding now. So I will just share, my screen is shared. Let me share it back. Yeah. So now let me quickly create a directory called demo app September 11. Okay, let me go back in my, yeah, and let me create so I went back in my projects folder, and I'm creating a directory called demo app September 11, right? So now this, the presentation that we have here, I'll share this presentation with every one of you. So basically, I have written the steps here. So we are working on Node, right? So first we need to install Node on our machines, and I've already have Node installed. So if I do a node -v, I can see the version of Node installed and on my machine. Otherwise, we can just go to the official Node site and install Node on our machines, right? So once Node is installed, then our app needs to have a front end and a back end, right? So first we need to create a front end, right? So let me create a inside my demo app September 11 folder. Let me create a folder called client. So this is the front end, right? Let me go inside client, and now I create a React application, right? So this is the command npx create React app. So this is the React application that I am creating. I'll show you guys where this application is getting created inside my projects folder, and there it is. So this is the React app that we are creating right now. So it will just take a couple of minutes for the React app to spin up. Yeah, so now if we go back, we can see this is the React application that we just created. These are the folder node modules. It has all the libraries we will need to run our application. Public folder, it has all the public files, the image files, and other files, and the source folder where our application lives in. So so this is the app.js file, which is the starting point of our application, right? So now I will just open my Visual Studio. So this is Visual Studio code, which I use for building this is my IDE basically. So now here on my terminal, I'll just go inside the client folder, and I think I have created 2 client folders. Not an issue. I'll go inside another client folder, and then here I can do an npm start, right? So now you can see this is my front end application, that is the default React page that has come up, right? So now I need to install some more libraries. So I'll copy this line here. I will go back to my terminal. I will stop this using Command C. I will paste this line, npm install Axios. Axios is used for making API calls, and Bootstrap is basically a library uh, for designing my user interface, right? So app.js, this is the page that I am getting here, as you guys can see. Now what I will do is I will open, I will just go to my, I have prepared this code already. So I will just copy this front end code up to this point, right? And I will go back and put it to my app.js. So here what is happening is this has a form. As you can see, this has a form. Okay, now I need to run it back. So npm start, right? So now this will just load a form called AI email generator and sender. It has a recipient text field for entering recipient email. I can enter the name of the recipient, the type of email I want to send, and then I can generate. So as you can see, the UI is not great, so not a worry. What I will do is I had installed Bootstrap, right? So I will go back to my index.js, and I will include or import the bootstrap.css. This is an open source library for designing web applications. So now if I go back and refresh the page, I'll see that it is starting to look much better. The Bootstrap styling is applied, right? So now the front end is set up now, right? So now what I need to do is set up the backend, create the backend. Next step is creating the backend, right? So let me go back to my terminal, go back to the root directory, which is demo app September 11, and let me create another folder called server, right? Let me cd inside server, and let me create a node app, right? So npm init -y, this will create a node app, and let me install all the dependencies for my node app, right? So now if I go back, we can see a server folder inside node modules are installed, and the package JSON is installed with all the dependencies that I wanted, right? So now for inside the server folder, what I will do is I will create a new file and call it index.js. This is the starting point of my node server, right? And let me go back. This is as you can see, this is the code that I have written already to spin up the backend. So I'll copy paste this code. So this basically is a simple piece of code. What it's doing is, so first of all, it is importing the requirements. It is importing OpenAI. It is importing environment variables. I'll tell you what environment variables are. It is importing node mailer for sending mails. And then it is doing adding some cores so that our API calls from the browser don't get blocked, right? So that is that. And then we have a couple of endpoints. One is generate email for generating email. So here we are calling, as you can see, GPT-4o Mini to make API calls to the OpenAI. We are giving the prompt. You're an assistant that drafts professional academic emails. And we have 3 options here. If it's a reminder email, it will trigger this prompt. If it's a thank you mail, it will trigger this prompt. Or if it's any other type of mail, it will trigger this prompt, this particular prompt. And then we are using send email method, where we are using smtp.gmail.com to send this mail to the users, right? And we also need to add another file, which is the environment file. the environment file will have all the environment variables that we need here. So basically, it will have the OpenAI API key, which we will need somewhere here, the OpenAI API key, and it will also ask for the email user ID and the password for my Gmail, right? So I will add those things here. So I already have those things. So I'll just, for a minute, I'll stop sharing my screen and I will copy them to my environment variables. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah. So I have added them now. I'll share my screen back. So I have added them back now. You can see in my OpenAI API key. So for getting the OpenAI API key, we can go to playground.openai.com, right? So this is where you can get your OpenAI API key. For getting the email user ID, this is my user ID and this is the password, right? So for getting the password, again, we can say Google email password, and there's a secure Google password uh, service which helps us generate the password, right? So I've added that to my environment variables, and so now let me spin up the server, right? So what I will do is I will just create another open another terminal. I will go to cd server and I will do a node index.js, right? So now you can see my OpenAI client is initialized and my server has started running, right? So now what I will do is I will try to send myself an email. I will enter my name and let's say it's an invitation. So first step is to generate the mail. So this is where the OpenAI client is getting called. So here you can see the generate email endpoint got called. It sent my name and the email type to the OpenAI GPT-4o Mini API, which is this one. And now it is generating the mail, right? So it has generated the mail. You can see the email preview. It has generated the mail, the mail beautifully, right? And now I can use the SMTP client. So this is the mail that got generated, the HTML of the mail, which we showed on the UI. And now you can see the email got sent also. So if I go back to the inbox, I can see the email has gotten generated, right? So yeah, so this was a small application which we built using OpenAI and SMTP, Gmail's SMTP. So we called the We had this is what we built right now, right? We had an AI generation component, and don't worry, I'll share all the code along with this presentation deck with you guys, so you can have a look. I'll obviously not share my OpenAI credentials and my email password, so you guys can generate that for yourself. Let me know if you have any issues. But we created an AI generation component using OpenAI GPT-4o Mini. Then we integrated with the email service. We orchestrated a small workflow, and considering we added our API keys and our password in a environment variable, so kind of readies us for production environment, right, where we are securing our environment variables, right? So now this is the actual course, the 6-week curriculum. It will have different modules week wise. So the first week, the setup will be week 0 and 1, where we will set up environment variables, API keys, backend basics, everything. Install any dependencies that we don't have. Then in the week 2, we will learn about prompt engineering, which is the basic of AI app development, how to craft beautiful prompts for structured outputs, templates, and testing. Then week 3rd will be about databases, because we, like in this in this application that we saw, there's no database, right? But what if we want to store the email generated to a database, or what if we want to convert them into embeddings for creating a chatbot on top of it, right? Or if you want to include an FAQ or some company docs and we want to build a chatbot on top of it, so we are searching on top of our knowledge base, right? So for those use cases, we need a database, and we also need to generate embeddings and a vector database, right? Then we will learn about AI workflows. So we will connect with an actual AI. We will learn about storage. We will learn about third-party APIs like Slack, Teams, Gmail, and whatnot. How to handle error, what to do in case of and how to recover from an error, and things like that. Then in week 5, we will learn about web integration. So basically integrating our backend, the databases, our vector database, our normal database, our AI into our front end. And then finally, we will learn about deploying our apps on the cloud using Docker, Kubernetes, and stuff like that, right? And these are some of the use cases we are open to. We will have a poll on the in the initial weeks. So we have these 3 options. We can add more options. You guys can suggest options, but we can have an AI research assistant who will take a topic. It will search the web or academic sources. It will summarize findings into pros, cons, and then generate formatted report or a presentation automatically. Or we can have an AI customer support agent with workflow integration, which can answer to FAQs from a knowledge base, escalate when confidence is low, create a ticket in a support system using an API, and things like that. And then we can have also have a email or a chat to notify the customer. And last one can be an AI marketing campaign generator. These are just ideas. We will discuss, we'll brainstorm more ideas, and we will just pick up any one idea which is liked by majority of the cohort. Or we can also split between different people can pick their own ideas as well, right? Whatever suits your portfolio, right? So we can have an AI marketing campaign generator also, which can generate product description according to product description and target audience. It can generate ad copies, social media posts, email campaigns, landing page drafts, and so on, right? So again, why join this course? Again, as I said, it will have hands-on projects. We will be building real-world applications from the very first day, and every concept, whatever we learn, will immediately be applied to real-world projects. We will be learning to ship production-ready apps. We will learn about handling security, scalability, cost optimization from the very first day. And we will also learn, we will have expert mentors. Apart from myself, there are a few more mentors which I will introduce to you. And you're walking away with. So you'll be walking away with a portfolio of projects which you can showcase on your GitHub repository. You will also have a shareable link. We will learn how to deploy our application on the cloud. So we have a shareable link, and we will have career skills and certificates, of course, right? And then talking about our instructors, of course, I'm the founder of GrowthPro AI. As I said, 15 years in tech and product space, serial entrepreneur, work with multiple startups, like Lead Square and Stanza Living. Then we have Yukesh Kashyap. Is a data scientist. He's worked with companies like Citibank, Mu Sigma in the past, brings extensive industry experience, and now he's also co-founded his own company called Page Bananas, where they're doing AI consulting for some US multinationals. And then we have, last but not least, we have Priyadarshi Vivek, who is again a product expert working currently with Target and has worked with companies like JP Morgan Chase. Is an Asian Institute of Management Manila alumni. Right. So thanks again. I'll be open to questions right now. This is the email ID. Sorry, I'll just show you the email ID that you guys can write on to. hello@GrowthPro AI. AI with Pranjal. That's my Instagram handle, where I talk about AI. I try to post, AI reels basically, and then this is the WhatsApp number you can reach out to. The cohort is starting on 30th of September. So and there are of course limited seats available. So thank you guys for your time, and open to questions now, please. Any questions from anyone, please feel free to ask. Questions? All right, guys, I'll share the material across with you. And thanks everyone. Thanks a lot for joining, and hope to see you guys enroll in the course and be a part of this AI boom together, right? So yeah, see you guys. Bye.